The richest elected official in Washington, who continues to enrich himself every day he is in office, today tried and failed to talk about affordability.
They caused the problem. And then they came up, it's a word that they came up with, affordability. Every time you hear the word, remember, they're the ones that caused the problem. And first time you heard about it was like a few months ago. This election's all about affordability. Well, they're the ones that caused the problem. But nobody knows that. People forget. So they say, oh, affordability, let's vote for the Democrats. It's no, affordability.
Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania. He's the ranking member, the top Democrat on the House Budget Committee, and he's a member of the Important Ways and Means Committee. Congressman Boyle, I'm trying to figure out if Donald Trump is for or against affordability.
I wish what he said had been correct, that all we had to do was say the word affordability and we would automatically win every election. A little bit more complicated than that. But I will actually concede that maybe for the first time ever, the president has actually said something that is honest. He said that it was only a few months ago that he'd ever heard the word affordability. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget, this is a billionaire who from the time he was in kindergarten was transported to school in a limousine. It's not a big surprise to me that the guy has no idea what affordability is, doesn't understand it, has never even heard the word, and he is governed accordingly so that today things are literally more unaffordable than ever, even than they were during the COVID pandemic.
So he went 79 years without hearing the word affordability or any word like it. But he also claimed today in that same talk that inflation is over and he fixed it.
It is hard to keep a straight face because this is such incredible BS. The reality is we were close. Look, I mean, to take a step back, there's no question that the United States, like every other country on earth, faced an inflation spike, the likes of which we hadn't seen since the late 70s, early 1980s. That is when basically the economy came back online right after the pandemic. However, the U.S. actually got out of that inflation crisis quicker than any other major economy. We were back at almost 2% at exactly this time 12 months ago. What happened? Donald Trump became president January 20th last year. And since then, we have seen the return of inflation. We have seen it return with a vengeance, so that today, in fact, costs are much higher than they were when Donald Trump became president. And in the words of Jay Powell, the Trump-appointed Republican chair of the Federal Reserve, they're specifically higher because of Trump's tariff policies.
Which everyone knows. I think presidents get too much credit and too much blame for the inflation rate in normal times in any given moment. But if you impose tariffs, you are guaranteeing inflation. That is, by definition, government-produced inflation. It's a sales tax on everything we buy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I agree with your first point, actually. I think a lot of times presidents are the economy they inherit. They're somewhat victims of circumstance. I mean, the George W. Bush recession in 2001, 2002 was largely because of 9/11. Poor Jimmy Carter in the 1970s deals with inflation mostly because of decisions that were made during the Nixon era. This is very different. The reason why we're facing inflation today, the reason why we're facing the lowest consumer confidence that we have seen in years is specifically as a result of Trump's tariffs policies that actually make things more expensive for the American people.
Congressman Brendan Boyle, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.